Welcome back to the Explainer. So today, we're going to completely demystify something that's literally in almost every single room of our homes. We rarely give it a second thought, right up until it starts making that dreaded, keeping you awake all night clicking sound. Well, today, we are taking a step-by-step buyer's journey to find the absolute perfect fan for your space. We're going to break down the specs, the sizing, and some truly mind-blowing new tech that will completely change how you think about indoor cooling. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. Ceiling versus wall fans. 2. Finding your perfect size. 3. The BLDC motor revolution. 4. Smart features and upgrades. And 5. Installation and safety essentials.
Starting off with Section 1, ceiling versus wall fans.
Now, this is your foundational choice, right? Before you even look at any other specs, you've got to decide where the fan actually needs to go in your room. And to make that call, we need to understand airflow. Ceiling fans operate top-down. They push air toward the floor to create this uniform, room-filling circulation. Basically, it acts as the primary air circulator for the whole space. On the flip side, a wall fan gives you highly focused directional airflow. It oscillates horizontally, sending a really concentrated stream of air exactly where you need it most.
This table kind of makes the choice a no-brainer. Think of a wall fan as your personal cooler for smaller, active spaces. Sweating in the kitchen over a hot stove, working at a standing bench in the garage, a wall fan mounted on any secure wall is perfect for spaces up to 120 square feet. But if you're looking to cool a bedroom or living room that's 150 square feet or larger, and you've got at least a 9-foot ceiling, well, the ceiling fan is the undisputed champion for keeping the whole room perfectly breezy.
Moving right along to Section 2, finding your perfect size.
Once you know where the fan is going, we've got to find that Goldilocks fit. Not too big, definitely not too small. Now, what's really interesting about this is how clearly it maps exact square footage to standard sweep sizes on the market. Got a tiny 6x6 room? A 600mm fan is totally fine. But look at that middle row. For your standard rooms up to 100 square feet, the 1200mm or 48-inch fan is the absolute sweet spot. It fits the vast majority of standard bedrooms perfectly. You get incredibly efficient airflow without turning your room into a literal wind tunnel. And for larger master suites, you just bump that up to the 1400mm size. But wait, how do you actually measure a fan's sweep size if you're replacing an old one? It's a surprisingly common source of confusion, but the technique is brilliantly simple. If your fan has an even number of blades, just measure straight across from the tip of one blade to the tip of the opposite one. Super easy. But if you have an odd number of blades, like 3 or 5, you measure from the tip of one blade to the exact center of the fan, and then simply multiply that number by 2. Boom, there's your true diameter.
All right, Section 3, the BLDC motor revolution.
Okay, this is where things get really fascinating, because the technology powering these fans has taken a massive leap forward. Just take a look at this jaw-dropping number, 1,600 rupees. That is the average annual electricity savings per single fan when you upgrade to a modern BLDC model. Imagine you've got 4 or 5 fans running constantly in your house all year. Those savings compound incredibly fast. Basically, these fans end up paying for themselves over time.
And this brilliantly illustrates why. Look at this massive drop in energy consumption. Your standard, old-school, traditional induction motor draws about 75 watts of power. A modern BLDC motor, just 28 watts. That is a 65% reduction in energy usage. No wonder organizations tracking global energy demand are pushing this tech so hard. It's a tiny upgrade in your home, but it makes a massive environmental and financial impact.
So what actually is a BLDC motor? It stands for brushless direct current. See, traditional motors use physical brushes that constantly rub against the rotating core. That creates friction, noise, and heat. By ditching those brushes and using electronic circuits and permanent magnets instead, a BLDC motor completely eliminates that friction. The result? 50 to 70% less energy used. It operates silently, it doesn't heat up, and it lasts way longer because there aren't physical parts constantly grinding down inside. It is quite literally a cooler, quieter engine.
Which brings us to Section 4. Smart features and upgrades. Because we have these new electronic motors, we can finally say goodbye to those clunky old wall regulators. Modern fans are fully integrated into the Internet of Things. We're talking built-in Wi-Fi, so you can control your fan from an app anywhere in the world. You've got voice control through Alexa and Google Assistant. Imagine just whispering to turn the fan down without getting out of bed. Some models even have built-in temperature sensors that automatically adjust the speed as your room cools down overnight, all paired with stepless, dimmable LED lighting. I mean, it's the whole shebang. And if you're thinking this sounds super expensive, check out this expert review from PC Mag. They point out that models like the Dreo CLF 521S offer these premium smart features, powerful airflow, adjustable lighting, voice control, all at a really reasonable price point. You seriously don't have to break the bank anymore to get a fan that listens to your voice and syncs perfectly with your smart home routines. But here's a crucial reminder. Smart tech is fantastic, obviously, but the fan still needs to do its main job and do it peacefully. Blasting 6,000 CFM on high is great for a big vaulted living room, but it's going to sound like a jet engine when you're trying to sleep. For a truly quiet bedroom, check the specs for a gentle, consistent breeze, specifically in the 1,000 to 4,000 CFM range on lower settings. That guarantees you get the cooling you need along with that whisper quiet peace you really want. Finally, Section 5, Installation and Safety Essentials.
So you pick the perfect size, the best motor, the coolest smart features. Now we've got to get it safely onto your ceiling. Let's look at this really great Punka Chitra, which is just a fantastic term for a fan diagram. This schematic right here shows a standard down rod installation, giving you a total drop height of 15 inches from the ceiling. A down rod is absolutely essential if your ceilings are over 9 feet high. You've got to drop the fan down into that optimal 8 to 9 foot range above the floor. Otherwise, all that amazing airflow just gets trapped way up near the ceiling and never actually reaches you.
Now, conversely, if you're in a modern apartment with slightly lower ceilings, you're going to want a flush mount setup, like we see right here. This keeps the total height down to 11 inches, so it hugs the ceiling a lot closer. But the golden rule here? You still have to maintain a minimum clearance of 30 centimeters between the blades and the ceiling itself. The fan literally needs that room to pull air from above so it can push it downwards to you. So the crucial point is right here on this wiring diagram. When you, or hopefully your electrician, are making these connections, safety absolutely cannot be compromised. The source material is super adamant about this. You must ensure the outlet box is properly grounded, or that a dedicated ground wire, usually green or bare copper is highlighted, is firmly connected. Honestly, failing to ground a metal appliance attached to your ceiling is a massive, massive risk for electrical shock and fire hazard. Don't skip it. And speaking of safety, please heed this strict manufacturer's warning. When you're putting the fan blades on, you've got to use every single screw and washer they give you. Literally, do not skip the washers. An imbalanced fan with poorly secured blades won't just wobble and annoy you. It'll actively damage that brand new BLDC motor you just paid for. It'll kill its lifespan, completely void your warranty, and worst case, the blades could detach while spinning and cause severe injury. Just take the extra 5 minutes to lock them down properly. Which leaves us with this final thought to wrap up today's explainer. When you look up at your ceiling today and you hear that old induction motor humming away up there, wasting energy, generating heat, making you get up to turn a clunky plastic knob, just ask yourself, how much electricity and how much money is your current fan wasting right now? With all this silent, smart, energy-saving technology so easily available, I don't know, it just might be time for an upgrade. Thanks for hanging out with me, and here's to a smarter, cooler home.